Hey good people, welcome back to Beauty and the Frizz. My name is Cara. Whether you're new or returning, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me for a really special video, a different video for me. I have some news to share, so if you want to hear it, keep watching this video. Let me know what you think. And this isn't even about makeup, so if you just like this community, definitely consider joining the community. I'd love to have you back. All right, let's get started. So how are you? I am fantastic. I have been a little MIA, and part of it was just the end of the school year. For those who are new here, I have been a teacher for 20 years, and I just wrapped up year 20. It might be year 21. It's an ongoing debate. And I'm a math teacher this year. That's a whole nother thing. Not gonna talk about it. Anyway, for all intents and purposes, this is year 20. I'm wrapping it up. Yeah, it's been a really busy time. Wrapping up report cards, trying to get your room together, and closing out procedures is a lot of work. It's very, very exhausting. And even though, you know, returning to the same room and all that good stuff next year, just trying to organize everything, put everything away, and just have my room together for the upcoming school year is an ordeal. Let me just go through my whole story, and then we'll get to the news. So I started teaching it is 20 years, 2003, 2004 school year. And I started teaching in Baltimore City, and I started teaching with no experience. I went to Towson University, and during my senior year, I just wasn't sure what I was gonna do with a psychology degree, and I didn't wanna go back to school right away. And I knew that was going to be the only way I was going to really make money. A lot of people who had psychology degrees ended up going back to school, or they were doing like admissions for places like Walden, the online universities, and that's not really something that I wanted to do. I don't know what I wanted to do. I don't really think I had the plan. I was working at the daycare there, and the second semester of my senior year, I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna teach. I'm gonna do that. I think I'm good at this daycare stuff. So there was a program called the Baltimore City Teaching Residency, and there was also one called the New York City Teaching Fellows. And my dream was to move to New York, y'all. My dream was to move to New York, to go to NYU. That's what I wanted to do. But the pay was the same. And at the time, it was about $39,000. So these programs were for people who did not major in education or were career changers that wanted to teach. And basically it was like this fast track situation where over the summer you get some training, but basically in the fall you're in there. They may have some guidance along the way. The Baltimore City program was fairly new, and I was in the second cohort of that. So I do believe the program still exists. I heard a commercial the other day, but I'm sure, so I don't believe, I know it still exists, but I'm certain there's a lot more guidance for the teachers and things like that. In any case, I got in, I had to take another math class after I graduated, which, you know, had to do that. And I started teaching right away that fall, and I was going to school to get my certification while I was actually in the classroom, and then I went on to get a master's like straight after that, and in curriculum and instruction. And some of my best friends got in the program. They started teaching. We had a nice run while I was working with my best friends for a few years, and I've met so many great people. And when I first started teaching, I had a really great mentor and a great team lead, and I think that if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I really would have made it, because there was just no guidance, you know? There was nothing, and there was a lot of tears. I was at school early. I was there really late. I mean, to the point where my car would get towed late, you know, because I work downtown, and it was a whole lot. But I had so many great experiences, and so I left the city after 14 years and went to one of the surrounding counties. I've been there for 7, and I decided to take a leap of faith this year and applied to become an advisor, pretty much a coach for new teachers. And I always wanted to do that because teaching is so hard, and the demands on us I thought they were a lot then, but we have so many more demands on us now. It's a lot. And if you're a teacher who has been able to not take any work home or anything like that, I never found that solution. I never did. And if it wasn't physical work, it's the mental exhaustion and the mental work that you're doing to try to help these children in any way you can. I just think if it wasn't for my mentor, I don't know what I would have done. So back in February, I applied for a position and I interviewed in March, and they're like, yeah, you won't hear anything until sometime in May. So May rolls around, June rolls around, and I'm just like, okay, like I'm gonna go ahead and prepare to teach 4th grade. And luckily, I don't think the schools are gonna be departmentalizing, so I was prepared to go back to teaching everything, which is a lot more work, but that's a whole different video. But I prefer it because I like having my same students all day, and with my just my attention span. It's not that I have a short attention span, but I like a lot of creativity, and I love the idea of nurturing my class and teaching all the subjects. And I don't like teaching the same thing over and over again, even though it was only 3 times, it was 2 times too many. So I was happy about that. I signed up for some training this summer for the new reading program. And I just hadn't heard anything about the mentoring thing, so I kind of assumed that I didn't get it, but I was also like, you know, it'd be nice if they let you know that you're no longer being considered. So I ended up emailing the head of the program manager, like, I don't like need a whole bunch of details. I just need to know, like, because I was trying to plan something for the boys and vacation wise, and basically he was like, well, the people who we are not interested have been notified. So I'm like, okay, cool. But if there was a space, which are very, very limited spaces, you could be notified at any time. It could be in the middle of the summer. It could just be at any time. So I'm like, all right. So in my mind, you know, I'm just going ahead and preparing for next year. And last Monday, I got a call and walking my kids up the steps. I thought it was like an automated number. And they're like, is this Cara? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, you've been recommended for a hire for, you know, this mentor position. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Not me, you know, because at this point it's June, 10th? And so my mind was in a different place. Like, my mind was just like, you know, whatever is going to be, will be, and that's going to be what's for me at this time. You know, okay, that bird just flew real crazy. Like, that's what's going to be for me at this time. So anyway, she's like, you know, you can call me back after the kids leave. So I called her back, and she just went through the acceptance procedures, and she's like, you know, I can give you 24 hours. I'm like, no, I do not need 24 hours. So your girl is a mentor, and I am just, it's kind of surreal. After that, you know, I told my principal and everything, and I told my students, and you know, our students were kind of, you know, they were sad, and I'm like, y'all, we live in the same neighborhood. Like, one of my students, I was sad, I'm like, you're at my house every day. Like, we live on the same street. This is gonna change nothing, you know? But it's a huge change, especially if you're in a school that has high turnover, because a lot of them are used to people leaving. And it's kind of bittersweet being one of those people. But yeah, I've been there for 7 years, and I really feel like I'm in the space to be able to coach someone else, and I'm very excited about it because it's a really tough job. So this for me wasn't like, I gotta get out this classroom, I gotta get out, like I'm just burnt out. It wasn't that. It was that I felt like I have something to offer because I have a lot of experience, not just with different grades, but just with different demographics of kids. And that is constantly changing. I think my experience in the city really prepared me for a lot that the surrounding counties are starting to see, and some people are just not experienced with it. But I mean, you can pretty much throw anything at me. I'm just kind of, I'm a type B teacher, you could probably tell, and I'm just really like go with the flow. And if we have to pivot and make changes, like that's just what we got to do. We can't get all up in our feelings about it. And there's just going to be some unexpected things that occur. So I accepted. Then I got pink eye. So those are probably the last videos you saw. I couldn't go to work now I wasn't going to be able to clean out my classroom. Like, that just was not going to be able to happen with such short notice. But I wasn't there to be able to pack up anything. So my classroom is still kind of in shambles at this time. And after the last day of school, I had the antibiotics or whatever, so I was fine. I had to go to training the next day. So I don't know if my Makeup Releases video is going up first or this one. But when I said, like, I just felt like I needed to rest, that was why. Because, like, the next day I went into these 8-hour trainings, which were absolutely amazing. The coaches, everybody is so happy, and it's so genuine. Like, the passion, I would say, for new teachers and retaining them, because that's what the program is about. The program is about retaining teachers and just helping them navigate being new. So our goal is to help first, second, and third year teachers, and even teachers who transfer into the county that may have experience in other counties, and just help them get acclimated, help them go through curriculum, you know. And it's not an evaluative position, which I love. It's not about gotcha or catching them doing something wrong. It's really about collaborating with them to, as I said in my interview, like, I want to help a teacher find their voice. I had a hard time finding my voice for a long time. One of the things they would say, like, especially being in difficult areas, was like, don't smile until December, don't do this, don't do that, be this way, be that way. And I would emulate other teachers that might have a different demeanor, a different personality that wasn't me. I can be loud, but I'm not a yeller, and I'm not mean. You know, I've come to the point where it's like, I'm just fair. I like humor. I like sarcasm. A lot of my kids get it. Well, I know who I can do it with. I know they say don't be sarcastic with kids, but it's just my nature. I like to share information with them. I like them to know about me. I like joking with them. I like making learning fun. And I like smiling. Like, some of them don't get anybody to speak to them or say good morning and things like that. So it took me a long time, and my voice changes all the time. I mean, I'm pretty much the same person, but what you can do with each class differs depending on the kids, you know. And I think this span of 20 years, the kids have changed a lot. Some of what they're bringing in with them has changed a lot. And I want to be that mentor that I had and help somebody just navigate through all of it, because it's really tough. But I think that if you decide to teach, like, you're signing up for it, and you may not know exactly what you're signing up for, but you definitely have a passion for kids and helping them succeed and helping them just be productive citizens and good people in the world. So I'm really thrilled. I've had 3 days of training and one virtual one tomorrow, and then I'm taking the boys on vacation. But I really wanted to share this with you all. So if you saw my Instagram post with all the books, those are the books they gave us, and it's not like you have to read them all, but those are all references, like, for different coaching styles and questioning, just like the relationship that a mentor has with a mentee, like just that coaching. We talked today about, like, things we were nervous about, and I'm like, I never felt qualified for teaching, but I've done it as long as I have. But I felt less than a little bit, even though I ended up getting my master's in education, just because I didn't have that experience, like learning how to do a lesson plan and learning how to student teach. And I don't know if any student teaching would have prepared me for some of the things that have occurred during my teaching career. I don't know if it would have. But I had those same doubts when I got chosen. I was like, yes. And then I was like, oh my God, like, I've been at different schools. I've taught at a total of 4 schools total in 20 years, but I've never had a different job title. What the job entails may be different, and I may have a different grade or a different curriculum, but I've never had a different job. And so it's kind of a scary thought, but I'm really excited and I feel so comfortable. The people have just been, I can't explain it, but just the support. And so the cohort in the training, there's only 5 of us, 5. So it was very, very selective. And so I really feel like humble. I feel so, like, honored to be chosen to do this. And I'm just so grateful. And the cool thing about it is I'm still a 10-month employee, and it's no raise or anything like that, but the job description is a lot different. And so I'm just excited. you know, I always talk about how I work with kids during the day and I work with kids at home, but this has given me an opportunity to work with adults, to assist them, to be someone to help take some stress off them as they go through their first years, and I help them figure out who they are. And I just feel so honored to be able to do that. And I just want to do the best that I can in it. Sometimes you get in these trainings and you're just like, but I didn't feel like that. I felt like, yes, like tell me more. And even the first day, like I think I told y'all, like I have driving anxiety. And that's one of the things I was like worried about. I'm like, I know I'm gonna have to go to this particular location and I don't like the route I have to take to get there. I know it's like, may sound really silly, but these are the things that I think about, like because I have anxiety, I'm trying to prepare for everything. And I'm like, no, you just have to, like, I'm reading the book Do It Afraid, like or listening to it rather, but like you just have to, like you're not gonna let that deter you. But I mean, these are just thoughts that go through my head, and I've gone there 3 times. And like the first time I was like, oh gosh, I feel, you know, the little jitteries coming on, and you know, driving home. And then the next 2 days, like it's been fine. And I'm like, no, like the first day I was like, you're in the right place. I felt like for the first time, and it's not that I never felt like I was in the right place in the schools, but I started to feel like it was time for me to make a change. So when I made this change and ended up at the training, I'm like, I felt so like held, is that the word? Like I was like, girl, you're in the right place. You're right where you're supposed to be at this very time. And I don't think I've had that feeling in a long time. I can't remember the last time I felt like you are right where you're supposed to be. I'm just like thanking God. Like I'm so grateful to have this opportunity. Just still being on the same level as a teacher and not being someone that's like observing them to catch them doing things wrong, but to help them do everything right. Or not right, but like to be a guide, you know, to help them develop their own ideas. I'm so excited for this next journey in education because it's so important, and all of this in the end, even what I'm doing, is impacting student achievement. And I want people to stay. Like I think that's one of the things that makes me sad is like every year I feel like I come back. It's not to a completely new staff, but there's so many new people every year. And I'm like, I work at a great school, and why are so many people leaving? Like my school is great. The kids are great. You know, everybody has bad days and things like that, but like, why can't we keep our people? I mean, salary is one thing, but I think some of the demands that we have to face are just, they feel unreal. In a way. So anyway, I wanted to share the happy news. I have just been really tired because it's like I said, it's been like a lot to think about, accepting it and telling my kids the next day I couldn't go to work to like try to close anything out. So when I get back in town, I have to come up with a plan for that. I'm not thinking about that right now because that will overwhelm me. I talked to my mom and my sister. I'm like, do y'all want to help? My sister's like, don't ask me, do I want to help? Like, just say I need your help, because like nobody wants to pack this stuff up. But I do have a problem, especially with teacher stuff, like saying this is trash, because I'm always like, no, I can use these bottle tops, or no, I can use, I don't know, it's just things are outdated, you know, and I have a lot of little drawers and cabinets, and some of these things maybe I can donate to the teachers that I'm helping, you know, depending on what they're coming in with. But yeah, I've been wanting to share this like since last week. I've been just so tired. I've been so tired, and I don't like to film when I'm tired or not feeling it. So that's what's happening, y'all. I am no longer a classroom teacher. I'm going to be a mentor. I'm going to be an advisor. And I just cannot wait to learn all that I can. The other cool thing is, like, I could be at one school or I could be at multiple schools. And I think that's gonna be a great experience for me to see how different schools function, different administrations function. I think that's gonna be really exciting. I mean, I could be at 3 schools, I could be at 4, even if I'm at one school. I'm really excited to be in different classrooms. You know, even last year, the year before, there were teachers that I thought were phenomenal. And I was like, I'd love to see what they're doing or how they do this, because like, I want to do that too. I've never been the type of teacher that's stuck in their ways and is like, my way is the highway or my way is the best way. I don't believe in that. There are teachers like that, like I do it this way. I've never been that type of teacher. I've always been really open to learning more. Like you can't just do I guess you can do everything the same every year, but I love the idea of evolution and kind of evolving. And you have core things about you, but or about your style, but there's always things that you can learn and incorporate to just keep your practice relevant. And some people aren't really open to that. But yeah, there's teachers that I've wanted to see teach for a long time, and I'm like, I never got the chance because I'm teaching, and staff is always short. So we did have some chances to do some observations, but not the way I wanted to. So I'm excited about the idea of like just having a different type of day where I might be able to get outside or go to a different place, and just building community with new people, new teachers, and hopefully creating that support system where they feel like they can lean on me as well as each other. You can try to do it alone, but teaching is very collaborative. You can do so much more when you collaborate. So wanted to share the news. I'm excited, but I'm just really grateful and humble for the opportunity. And I was like, I can't wait to tell my people, my peeps. I'm gonna be missing my girl I work with, and some of my other friends, my girl Madison that I work with really closely. But it's just a new chapter, but I'm still gonna be friends with everybody because like we talk every day. So that's gonna be it, y'all. I'm so thankful for the time that I had in the classroom. I was doing my report cards or finishing them on Wednesday, and I'm like, this could be my last set of report cards, like forever. And it's hard to imagine. Like when I started doing report cards, they were handwritten, So I'm really excited, and I'll have to keep you updated, of course, with this next chapter. So thank you so much for taking out some of your time and hanging out with me for another one today. I hope this was therapy for you. It always is for me. And until I see you again, make sure you are being gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself nice. Stay safe. I will see y'all really soon. Oh, I'm going out of town. So I don't know if Makeup Releases comes after this, then I'll have to see y'all next week. And if this is the last video, I'm gonna see y'all next week. I'll definitely have some video of our trip when we get back, y'all. All right, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.